welcome. If you're a music producer, a songwriter, a composer, an artist, or a beatmaker, I think you are going to like this plugin. So I came across this plugin called Song Engine, and it is by Feel Your Sound. Song Engine is a free VST AU MIDI generator plugin that turns chord progressions into complete musical ideas, including basslines, piano and keys, parts, arpeggios, and melodies. I mean, we all have been there. There are situations where you'll be working and you see yourself losing inspirations. I think this plugin is gonna come in handy. So before we jump into the demonstration to see how this plugin works, I think it's important we go through the features. Alright, now chord importation. So on this section, you will see that you can be able to load your chord progression. You can import chords from MIDI files. You can generate chord progressions, or you can create new chord progression. So this plugin has the ability to import any existing MIDI chord or use built-in chord progression generators. The next feature is auto adaptation. Every preset in this plugin automatically adapts to your chord progression. So which means whatever you feed it in, it automatically adapts to that thing you played. Now the third feature here is multiple parts, which means it generates, that is under this package section here, it generates bass lines, as you can see, piano and keys, as you can see right here, arpeggios, as you can see, phrases and melodies. Now the next feature is the genre agnostic, which simply means you can produce any track from lo-fi soul to hard techno, and this tool adapts to any style you throw at it. The next feature is, and this is according to the developer, royalty free. So they stated that all generated MIDIs are yours to use commercially. This plugin has built-in music theory that handles the technical side, so you don't need to stress yourself about that. Now for the remaining features, we'll be trying them out as we demonstrate. So let's begin by coming up with a chord progression we'll be using. You can either create your own or import an already existing MIDI chord progression. So but in this case, I will just generate it using this plugin. So all we need to do is to come over to generate chord progression, and a menu pops up. Now you see list of chord progressions you can actually use. So I'll just randomly choose one. I'll go for this one. So let's have a quick listen. But before that, it's important to deactivate this so that when you hit the space bar, it will sync the plugin to your DAW. Alright, so let's say we now have our chord progression. The next thing to do is either to drag it. Take for example, you are satisfied with this. You can either drag it from here onto your project, and as you can see, we now have the chord progression here, and from here you can easily assign a VST plugin. Let's just use keys for this demonstration. So you can now cut and paste it here. Alright, now we have our chord progression, but let me deactivate it for now. We'll go back to the plugin. Let's say we are okay with this chord progression. The next thing to do is to now start building your track, your full song, using that chord progression as the reference. So you start by coming over to the packages, and under the packages is where you see the arpeggios. You see a list of arpeggiato samples the plugin came with. Alright, now let's say we are okay with this type of sample. So once you get that particular arpeggiato sample selected, Alright, once we have the arpeggiator style that we want, all you need to do is to drag it and drop it. Now we have the chord and we have arpeggiator. So let me quickly duplicate this, then transfer this to that so that we can hear. Now let's try and get bass instruments. So all we need to do is to come over to the plugin and come on the bassline and start trying them. Alright, I'm gonna go with this one just to repeat the same process, drag and drop. So that is basically how to generate the chord or import your MIDI chord progression, then drag the one you are satisfied with onto your project and then start trying out all these melodies, like for bass, for chord reading, for chord voicing, for generative ostinatos. Alright, so I brought in flex to get a bass instrument, and also you can decide to create your chord progression by tapping it on this pad. As you can see, then you can as well edit this section if you like by modifying the chord. As you can see the options, you can invert the chord and do so many things. Alright, you can as well remove chord. Now let's say you want to edit it, you can decide to shorten the length of the chord or increase it. You can edit individually the notes, as you can see, just by dragging it, and you can further edit this section using these options right here. So you see, it is actually an interesting tool with multiple functions that will help you craft unique song. And below here, you can also see to choose the scale you're working on. It can also suggest scale for you. This is to set the key of the track you're working on. And over here you can see more chord progressions you can use as well. Alright, so that's basically how to use this plugin. So guys, that is it for this plugin. It's really a very unique and interesting tool to help guide you, especially when you hit that wall of no more inspirations. Alright, now before we conclude, I would like to tell you the pros and the cons. I mean, in my own opinion, the advantage of this plugin is it makes it a lot easier for you to get ideas on what to add to the project you're working on. Now, here comes the disadvantage. If the chord progressions that are already existing here, which is the presets, if they are not constantly updated, that means anybody that gains access to this tool will be making use of the same progression that came with this tool, unless you use it and then edit it later to add your own twist to it. But I feel it will be much interesting, I don't know how possible that will be, if the developer can actually when you come to the bassline, for example, you can easily find a button somewhere and click regenerate, and it will generate something different. Though I know that will be expensive to achieve, which might take this plugin off the free plan, but I'm just suggesting, okay? So those are actually the pros and the cons that I can tell you about this plugin so far, and it is super CPU friendly. Right now you can see my CPU meter is just around 5 and it's not taking much from my laptop. And finally, when you click on each preset, you can see more functions to manipulate the sound. So that is it for Song Engine by Feel Your Sound. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Let me know what you think about this plugin. I'll be leaving the link in the description. Share your thoughts in the comments below, subscribe, and most importantly, turn on your bell notification so that when next I put out videos like this, you get notified. If you want to check out more free tools that I've covered on this channel, on the screen is a playlist that covers a whole lot of plugins. Check them out. You never can tell, you might find something very useful, and I will see you there. As always, stay creative, stay focused, and bye for now.